Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, I'm giving you guys the most important Ripple and XRP news of today. Now, of course, a very suiting question is also, are you holding any XRP? And are you long-term bullish on Ripple as a company? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, if you've ever commented in my comment section and I didn't reply, well, from today on forward, that's going to be different. I normally reply to about 70% of the comments or so, but from now on forward, I'm going to try to reply to 95% of them and just ask you guys questions back and just conversate more, because really, a lot of you guys have very, very interesting stories and really have some freaking elaborate and cool comments. And I just want to thank you all for doing all of that. It's really, really amazing, and it motivates me to post more things to talk about. All right, so the first tweet comes from Galgatron. He says, XRP is a security, my ass. Do you really think the federal CFPB would promote XRP for payments if there was even a hint of uncertainty to its designation? XRP is not a security, and if it ever was, it is no longer. And then from the federalregister.gov, in their documents, it says here, blah, 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 by which sending institutions can know exact covered third-party fees and exchange rate. And then the important part, the Bureau also believes that expanded adoption of Swift's GPI product, or Ripple's suite of products, could similarly allow banks and credit unions to know the exact final amount that recipients of remittance transfers will receive before they are sent. And also, the continued growth and expanding partnership of virtual currency companies such as Ripple, which offer both a payments messaging platform to support cross-border money transfers, as well as virtual currency, XRP, which can be used to effect settlement of those transfers. So I actually really agree with Galgatron here, where I do see the chance quite small, almost neglectably small, that it can still be a security. Because yeah, I really don't think they would make a mistake like that, saying that it's really possible to use XRP and then, it coming out that it's security. That would be a pretty big mistake and a pretty big deal if you ask me. And Ripple mentioned explicitly alongside the monopolistic incumbent Swift, but no other companies. I mean, come on, Tyler Winklevoss, it's over, man. You lost. That's an interesting one. All right, and by the way, guys, if you are enjoying the daily crypto news, don't forget to support the channel by pressing the like button and subscribe. It helps out a ton and puts a smile on my face. And also, it's a big competition, I try to give you guys the best news, but there's a lot of guys out there trying to do that. So if you have any tips how I can provide the news better, put it down below. I'm going to try it out. Currency Cloud to process cross-border payments on RippleNet. 7 months ago, Currency Cloud did a Series E and raised $80 million from Ripple-backed investors. It was on the XRP Right Now website. Currency Cloud to process cross-border payments on RippleNet. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting logo. Yeah, I must admit. All the money, says RippleNet Committee. Quote, since 2015, Ripple and an advisory team made up of the diverse set of leading transaction bankers have been building the rulebook, a common framework that ensures operational consistency and legal clarity for every transaction. Now, one common theme here actually is also that really Ripple is not so much just about making payments, I guess, easier, but really has a big priority on making payments more transparent and making sure that anybody knows exactly what they're up to. And that's a big part that a lot of people are forgetting as well. Right now, if you want to send a payment, I guess sometimes you don't really know exactly how much the recipient is going to receive, and there's actually a lot of variables that are unknown that can be known quite easily with the integration of Ripple and maybe some newer Swift things and whatnot. But in the end, it's sometimes kind of strange to consider this as a possibility of a new standard. It's sometimes strange because we have the technology, we've had it for a pretty long while, and yet it's taken its sweet ass time, right? And why is that so? Well, because these systems are really grandfathered in, and it's really, really difficult to get somebody to change over when for them, yeah, there's not that much benefit in terms of profit most of the time. It really is, like let's say for example, 90% of the profit will be for the people using it because, well, it will be faster, the remittances, which is good. It might be a little bit cheaper, which is good, but that's all, things that are really nice for the person who's trying to send money, not really for the FI, right? Because the financial institution, yeah, they give you the fees of whatever it's going to cost. So, I mean, do they really care? Maybe the fees in the back end will become cheaper as well, which is positive. But of course, there's some other fees attached which they might have to pay. For example, maybe the Ripple licenses are very expensive or things like that. I actually have no idea about how that exactly works. Like, does Ripple sell, their licenses, or how does that really go? Do companies have to pay a huge amount, or is it free if you're big enough, or do you always have to pay? Or will Ripple even pay you, like with some of the bigger companies right now, to utilize it? And is it only for ODL, or is it also for just, the X current within RippleNet? Do they pay for it all, or just one part? Does Ripple pay them all to join RippleNet, or just ODL? I'm wondering. If you guys have any answers to it, put it in the comment section down below. We know for a fact that they are paying for ODL usage, but also for RippleNet? And are they doing that with their own funds or with XRP? But yeah, RippleNet Committee, standard rules with governance rulebook. The rulebook is a common framework that ensures operational consistency and a legal clarity for every transaction, yada, yada, yada. Aaliyah Knight has just posted on Twitter, Ripple updated their customer page, now includes more customers, including newly announced Lulu Exchange. This is only 10% of the 350 customers. At XRP's Arcade, Ripple's ecosystem, you can now see more companies, but always have in mind that some of them were tests. And one thing you should keep in mind is that these lists will never show accurately what partnerships are going on. And there's multiple reasons for that. One is that these partnerships come and go because, well, they might test and they might not like it and they might switch off. And second is, well, it's never going to grasp even half of what they really, really have, mostly because of NDAs, but also just because of they've never disclosed it. Not because they, have an agreement that they won't disclose it, but just because they haven't told us about it yet, or, it's something that they don't want us to know just quite yet. And actually, if you follow the theory that Ripple is trying to keep the price down because Jet McCallop is still selling XRP, or a couple other theories why Ripple should be keeping the price down, it actually would make a lot of sense as well that they would not announce some of the bigger deals they have, which is a certain thing. It could also be that they might not. I wouldn't say they might be ashamed, but I don't really think that would be the case. One thing that also has been bothering me a little bit, or had crossed my mind, is that maybe they don't want to announce some of these guys because they are paying for ODL usage. And if they were to announce them, it would kind of, become obvious that there's so many players on ODL, but the volume is nowhere to be seen, and they're paying them all. It would be kind of a waste of money, and maybe that's an idea in the back of their heads. But that's just a little bit of a, far-fetched thinking. That's I don't mean anything with it. I'm just thinking, and I want you guys to be involved. When we're talking about Ripple and XRP, I'm always keeping it 100% real. There's no fakey type of stuff like some other guys will tell you. I'll tell you exactly what I think and why I think it, because, well, you always got to think about this type of stuff when you're investing, right? I also told you I'm not 100% in XRP, just a small part in XRP, a good part in Bitcoin. Reason why, by the way, why I also go for Bitcoin is really because you got to not only think for yourself. It's not really important what you want or you like. It's really important what you think is going to work and what the rest, or I guess the other 99.999% of the people are thinking, Same for selling stuff or, posting content. It's not really about what you like, but it's about what you want others to like, sort of. It kind of depends on exactly what area. But when I post things on Instagram, for theme pages, I don't really think about what would I like to see. I think about what would the audience like to know about. Now with crypto news, I would say it's a little bit different. I really want to post what you guys want to see, but I won't really cover some random ass coins just because you ask. I want to cover the stuff that I am enthusiastic about and I have a passion for. Otherwise, it becomes really a heavier chore. And well, for the rest, it's actually kind of the same. It's the same situation, but I'm thinking about that. Let's move on though, to not get astray a little bit. With Bitcoin, I just think a lot of people want it, and that will stay that way. It is the highest up on the ranking. People know it the most. There's a good chance that that was going to be taken over or is going to stay at the top for a little while. And thus, I'm betting on it for right now. Maybe in a couple years, I'm going to change my mind if something happens. Is it most practical? No. Is it simple to use? No. Does it have really any benefits in that regard? No, not really. It's just a scarce coin that's really, really popular, and that was the first one. That's basically it. I mean, if you want to pay, you can better use XRP or some other coins. It's really not the best for most things, but it's really just that it's the most popular one that's making it good. All right, SBI invests $30 million in B2C2, largest proclaimed market maker in XRP. So yes, SBI invests $30 million in major crypto liquidity startup soon after revealing Japan's first digital fund comprising 50% XRP. Well, yeah, they've just bought a $30 million minority stake in British crypto liquidity startup B2C2. A spokesperson at B2C2 told Cointelegraph that the investment is one of the largest in the digital asset industry this year, declining to disclose more details about the deal. The representative continued, ultimately, bringing together B2C2's sophisticated asset liability management framework, a valuable client base, and deep expertise in trading and prime brokerage with SBI's balance sheet strength will be a game changer, uniquely positioning us to tap the $20 billion a year prime brokerage market. And I'm really wondering what exactly is going to be coming from this. A minority stake, I guess they couldn't do, otherwise they would have gotten a majority stake, I'm assuming. But yeah, pretty interesting thing that they bought this out. Wondering what that's going to bring for us. Ripple unlocks $1 billion XRP, sends $1 million in crypto to mysterious wallet. Well, things like that you always find resurface. I don't really believe it. Even if they send money, if you look a little bit further, you'll notice why it's being done or what's being done. If you just really want to know about these $5 million, for example, they could always give it up as XRP ecosystem. It's kind of nonsense and useless. Even if they're sending it to their own wallets, some secret own wallets, it's almost impossible to know. So going after it and checking everything out and trying to uncover it is again kind of a waste of time in my opinion. XRP price can outperform Bitcoin in the short term. Here is why. Well, I've told you guys this more often. I think that there's a good chance that if there's ever another run, it will be the way of Bitcoin is going to go up first for a little while. Altcoins are going to stay back. And then the altcoins are going to take over with some crazier percentages, really leaving Bitcoin in the dust, just like what happened a couple of years ago. I think that will happen just once more. And yeah, that's why we're kind of betting on a lot of these alts. I've also said, don't just put all your money into one alt, because there is a possibility that that one might go later. That one might bloom later, but also that one really doesn't feel this move upwards and it might stay stagnant, So you want to go for a couple coins, maybe like 5 or so, just so you are diversified enough where, yeah, you get the big rise if it comes along. But right, guys, again, I'm pretty bullish on all these coins, especially XRP for right now. Looking pretty damn juicy, couple of great things going on for themselves. And really, in the end, it's mostly about what Ripple can make of it, right? It's really about Ripple, Ripple and what they can do for XRP, because in the end, XRP is not really much without Ripple. And so I put full faith and full trust in them. I think they want the best for it. They also have huge holdings, and thus I think it will all be fine. But guys, thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care.